All right, welcome to Wayne's World Garage. We're at the sawmill today. Hopefully we're making some 2x4s. But before we got working on 2x4s, I want to show you the head. And thanks for Mark Galici, I think is his name, and John Frick for giving us advice on fixing these head blocks, I believe is what they're called. I probably said it wrong again. But check these guys out. So I don't know if that's in focus or not, but I'll take a couple pictures of this. And the issue is right where this rides here. Okay, it is less than an eighth of an inch. It's probably about a 16th of an inch, and it's pretty much ready to fall off. I don't know if you guys can see that. See how that goes up like that? Bangs around like that. So that's what we're trying to address. And there's very little metal there. There is less than an eighth of an inch where that thing is going up. So hopefully you can see from these pictures how worn this thing is. It's pretty worn under there. The question is, how do we fix these guys? And what's the best way to do that? Not quite sure yet. One of the guys from the wood shop said, hey, can you get us some 2x4s? We've got a big project. So today, we're making 2x4s, trying to get 50 2x4s out of those 5 logs up there. So with Doug out on medical leave helping his wife, Gary and I are the de facto sawyers. And we're kind of new at this. So we're working together here to try and figure out how to do this and what's the most efficient way to cut these logs up. This is Gary here sawing. He's going to do most of these logs, and I'll do a couple of them. And a lot of it's just learning. But the big thing we're learning is once you get a flat spot on a log, put that on the bottom of the knee, and we have much better results. And I think you'll see we crank out some pretty nice looking 2x4s here. So before we started sawing, Gary and I had a BGM. Who knows what a BGM is? A big government meeting. Just kidding anyway. But we looked at this, we scoped it out, and we figured what we want to do is make 3.5 inch thick cants, because the boards we're trying to make are 2x4s, 1.5 inches, maybe it's 1 3/4, no, it's 1.5 inches by 3.5 inches. So if we make the cants 3.5 inches thick, then we can whack off 2x4s very, very quickly after that. So all these logs, we're going to try and get cants out of them about 3.5 inches thick. And the nice thing is, the way the assembly works is that there's markers on there, and you can adjust it so it cuts out 1.5 inch thick boards, and it's relatively accurate. What you don't see, and I'll show it to you next time, there's some adjusting things on the back of it. So if you want them a little bit thicker, a little bit thinner, and we played with them, and actually they seem to work pretty well. Thanks for Frick and Jeep, Mr. John, for giving us that advice. So the other thing that Gary and I are both experimenting is we're testing to see how fast we can move the carriage, how quickly the saw will cut wood. And this is kind of interesting thing here, because you don't want to go too slow, because it just will have problems. You'll leave all sorts of saw marks. We have the opportunity to go relatively fast in some wood, although we only have this poor Minneapolis Moline 605, 605 cubic inches of American power, produces supposedly 100 horsepower. It will dog down if you push the wood or the log through too quickly, so you can't go too fast. Additionally, we're using the smaller blade now. This is a 48-inch blade instead of the 56-inch blade. So if you think about it, we're not in overdrive. We're in 4th gear. So we've got one more gear. We can put the 56-inch blade on there. But that's going to require more torque and more horsepower. And in many cases, I don't know that we have that. So if you know anybody that's got a spare Detroit diesel 471 that they want to get rid of, that would be fun to play with, wouldn't it? So not to keep interrupting the beautiful sound of this saw, but Gary now has got a couple of nice cants out of this log. Keep this in mind. We've only got 2 little cants out of this, which might get 5 or 6 boards each. And this is not a very big log. So the effort it takes to take a round log and make it square, whether it's small or big, is about the same. The problem is, on these small logs like this, by the time you square them up, there's not a very big cant left. The cant being the squared off or rectangular part of the log, which is why a real mill or a real sawmill doesn't really want to touch too many logs that are under 16 inches diameter or even 20 inches diameter, really. It's just the efficiency is not there. The efficiency happens once you've got a big log, and you'll see it at the end when Gary does his big log. The big logs can get very efficient. Same amount of effort to chop it off and square it up. But once you start making 2x4s, that's when we're making money. Oh, we don't make money. Sorry about that. All right, so all this work, and now Gary's got some cants ready, and now he's going to start whipping out 2x4s. And the fun part is, you'll see this goes fast because the cant's 3.5 inches thick, and it's easy to cut this wood. Try this with your little circular saw at home, or try it with your chainsaw mill. So what Gary's doing is just double checking, and we want to make sure we're on track here for getting the right size in this thing, because we're still kind of learning how to get this thing adjusted and how to tweak it up a little bit. So there's little pins here on this assembly, and there's an assembly, and these pins actually are like in 1/8 inch increments. And that's what Gary's doing, because we had this minor discussion. What size is it supposed to be? 1.5 by 3.5. I believe that's what you get at Home Depot. So he adjusted the pins a little bit to get it dialed in.
Let me flip one of those bars back in, you know what I mean?
So there's 3 adjusting things, okay, which determine how thick or thin the board is you're trying to cut. So you might have it set to exactly 1.5 inches, but if you need to get a little bit thicker, a little bit thinner, you adjust those things in the back. And what they do is they will determine how far back the mechanism goes, which will allow you to get it a little bit thinner or thicker. So we adjusted it to make it a little bit thinner. Well, Merry Christmas. We finally cut our first 2x4 of the day. But like anything, it takes time to do the setup. And once you get things set up, it goes pretty quickly. And now all we have to do is, whip it back and forth, pull a lever, and crank out 2x4s. This is where a larger log would have really paid off because we'd have a much bigger cant. Unfortunately, Gary gets like, I don't know, we're going to count them 5 or 6 2x4s out of it, which is okay. The worst part of this whole gig, though, is you'll see the log I cut is like rotten on the inside. So we pretty much didn't get any 2x4s out of it. We got a few, but that's the way it goes. All right, so his first log, and I use that word loosely because it wasn't much of a log, ended up having 2 cants out of it. And we probably got 4 or 5 boards each, we'll call it. I didn't even keep track. But it works. Probably have been better off making it for firewood. And maybe that's what we should have done. We are actually doing a really good job cleaning up our log yard and getting rid of some of the scraps and turning a lot of this wood just into firewood-sized wheels because we don't really need 13-foot long boards. Who wants a 13-foot long board? If you want one, let us know. We're happy to cut one for you. But for the most part, we're not using 13-foot long boards. So we're taking all the boards, making them either 8-foot and 16-foot. Unless, of course, somebody wants one. Then we'll cut it to whatever length they want. So Gary did a remarkable job making 2x4s out of several of these logs, even though they weren't very good. When I do my log, you'll see it's kind of sketchy. some of the 2x4s, as soon as we lifted them up, they broke in half because, sadly, there was rot in the middle of them. Probably should have been taken to the dump, but we didn't know that until we cut them open.
There's shitty logs.
Yes, yes. Yeah, they're tiny.
You want to cut one?
Yeah, you mind if I cut one? Is he okay at the, are you gonna come off the edge, Matt?
Yeah, it could be.
Let's pull this guy in a little bit if we can.
Hey, you guys push down on that end.
Careful there, you're in a bit. Ready? There you go.
There you go.
How's it look now?
Good.
So I wonder if here we should push this out a little bit. Push it out though so it cuts it straight, you know? Supposedly, I don't know. Supposedly if we go like this,
Oh, okay, yeah.
you know, and that keeps it out some.
Yep, I didn't realize that had.
Yeah, you ready? What do you think of that?
Hey, Wayne. This on the bear. We got to turn it. It's got a...
Okay. Yeah. Yep. All right. Thank you.
It's got a belly.
No, good catch. Good catch. You got another cant? Oops. No.
What's your handle?
Yeah. Do you have another? Ready?
I want to spin.
Oh, well, let's get another cant on it, Matt.
Well, what are we doing?
It's gonna. Ready? There you go. A little more. Keep going. Oh, that might be better. Let's give it a shot, I guess. We're still, yeah, we'll see what happens here.
Wow, it's taking all this effort, but finally I'm getting to squaring up this log and making a cant out of it.
Oh, we want to put it on the bottom? Yeah. Gotcha. I wasn't thinking, sorry. I think we'll leave this out a little bit too, just like it is. You know?
I think it's okay because we're off.
You want to put it in all the way? I think it.
Yeah.
There we go. What kind of wood that?
Oak, I think.
Don't smell like it. Nice and sweet.
Huh. Beats the hell out of me. You know what? It's dead. It's dead wood. Dead wood. Dead. Dead. Good. One more. You should have told me that before I pushed it all that way. Oh, okay. So now is where we figure this. We got. Yep. And you're still at 1.5 now?
3.5.
When you pull it though, it goes 1.5?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, yep. Exactly 3. That's good. Still big. Oh well.
All right, so granted, I'm a little bit slow, but all this effort to get the first cant out of it, and it's not that big of a log, but we'll get her done.
Go all the way.
Okay. Not even close. Oh, that one is 3.5. That one is 3.5. Huh.
All right, well, this took a little bit of work, but now I'm finally ready to square off the cant and then start making 2x4s, and I'm not going to get a whole lot. And the worst part is some of these 2x4s are pretty sad. Now, on a positive note, the lumber we're cutting is pretty square. It like measures 1.5 inches by 3.5 inches. Brilliant. That's exactly what we want. And that's in big part thanks to all the effort all the guys have put in to straightening out our tracks, and all the great advice we've gotten from John at Frick Jeep and Mark at Galici. I probably said his name wrong again. Sorry, dude. But thanks again for everyone's hard work and trying to get this thing figured out. So here's our product for the day. It looks like we ended up with about 50 2x4s, which I think will keep these guys happy, although I don't know that some of them are very good. These last ones are oak, and they look pretty nice, but Gary did a good job chopping these guys up, and they got a nice pile of them. The poplar ones, some of them look good, but some of them look pretty crappy also, but we'll see. All right. Well, thanks for watching another episode of Wayne's World Garage. I hope you enjoyed this. I'm trying to improve the channel and get more people to watch it, frankly. So do me a favor, leave me a comment, tell me what you think, tell me how I can improve it. I'm open to suggestions. I'm thick-skinned like a crocodile. Well, I don't know about that. But anyway, appreciate you guys watching this. Give it a thumbs up and leave a comment, please. Take care and have a great day, and happy Friday.